Hi guys, how are you doing? Happy Akshay Tritiya and Eid Mubarak to everyone. So in today's video, I will be talking about sleep matters again. As you know, I had done an Instagram live, but I got comments from people saying that information kuch adhura laga. So I have decided to do this segment again. I am gonna place the full video on YouTube, and don't forget to watch the video till the end, because at the end I will be passing on 7 tips on how to sleep well. Alright, so now we need to understand why we need to talk about sleep. Sleep is a really underrated topic. Like I said previously, throughout the world there are more than 80% of the people who have disturbed sleep due to various reasons: mental stress, anxiety, health issues, various. So and people need to understand why sleeping well is important for better health or to preventing health disorders throughout your body. So before we go further, we need to understand that we are living in a challenging time. Pandemic is not yet over. We are different parts of the world are getting in and out of lockdowns, and in spite of the vaccine, people are facing different challenges in terms of health, work, XYZ areas. So challenges are a part of life, and responding to challenges can be tricky. Some challenges require you to be on your toes and get things going, but then some challenges require you to step back, relax, regenerate, and think strategically. Now, when you have to respond to a challenge strategically, you really need to sleep well. Why? Because when you're sleeping, you will be able to strategize better. So, coming to another point is, we have a really big disadvantage. We live in a 24-hour world, and we are paying the price on it with health issues. Now, previously, people had bodies synced, had their internal rhythms synced with the sun. Okay, so जब सुबह होती है, जब भी लाइट होती है, तभी आप अपने सारे काम कर लेते हैं. जैसे ही अंधेरा होता है, you calm down, आप चुपचाप घर चले जाते हैं, and you tend to go to sleep. So, like literally, people were living a life from morning 4 a.m. to 6 p.m. or something like that. Now you have access to electricity, you have screens in front of you, your work goes on for a longer time. So really this is affecting our sleep, and unknowingly people are facing problems because they are not able to sync themselves with this internal rhythm with the sun. And so that is why we need to understand why sleep is so important. Before we go on further, what is sleep? So sleep is basically a time when your body tends to relax, it calms down, and your body organs tend to slow down, is what is the normal understanding. Let me add to it, sleep is also the time when the cells in your body tend to go through a repair process. Yes, during sleep, inside your body, the cells are not just repairing themselves, they are also making new changes for you to be either better or worse, depending on what is going on in your body. So sleep is basically divided in 5 stages. Okay, so इसमें से जो पहले 4 स्टेज है वो है NREM स्लीप. इसको नॉन रैपिड आई मूवमेंट स्लीप बोलते हैं. बेसिकली आपने देखा होगा सोते वक्त कभी किसी की आंखें साइड टू साइड, द आई बॉल्स टेंड टू गो साइड टू साइड, सो दैट इज़ अ रैपिड आई मूवमेंट. ओके, तो नॉन रैपिड आई मूवमेंट्स में ये सब नहीं होता है. ओके, एंड one stage, the last stage is REM sleep. It's a rapid eye movement stage when you're actually dreaming. Now, if you understand, 75% of your sleep is non-rapid eye movement, and 25% is your rapid eye movement. Now, why you need to understand this? Because ये जो 75% of your sleep है, इसमें repair work चलता है. Your body tends to repair things which are not right make clear up all the waste which is built up, and in the rest 25% your body tends to make new connections. Yes, नेटवर्किंग हमारी बॉडी के अंदर भी चलती है, सिर्फ रियल लाइफ में काम के लिए नहीं चलती. ओके, सो दैट इज़ वाई वी नीड टू हैव अ गुड नाइट स्लीप, बिकॉज नेटवर्किंग अंदर से भी ज़रूरी है. So another thing you need to understand is a circadian rhythm. Now our body has a sleep-wake cycle. ये sleep-wake cycle control होता है from a small area in the brain called the suprachiasmatic nuclei, which is situated in the brain. Now this part of the brain is the pacemaker of the sleep-wake cycle. जैसे हमारे हार्ट में pacemaker होता है, जो पेसमेकर डिसाइड करता है कि आपका हार्ट कितना टाइम बीट होगा, जैसे 84 बीट्स पर मिनट, जैसे 100 बीट्स पर मिनट, वैसे ही ये जो सुप्राकाइस्मेटिक न्यूक्लिया है ये डिसाइड करता है आपकी स्लीप वेक साइकिल नॉर्मल चलेगी या अब नॉर्मल. Another thing what this nuclei does is it releases two hormones, two important hormones. एक होता है cortisol जिसको एक्टिविटी हार्मोन या स्ट्रेस हार्मोन बोलते हैं. ओके, एंड अनदर थिंग इज द सेकेंड हार्मोन इज योर melatonin. Melatonin hormone is a hormone which relaxes your body, which is very important for sleep. I'll be talking more about this later. So now if you Google this word called circadian rhythm, you will see a typical like a schedule. They'll show you that रात के टाइम में like from 12 to 6 is a time where you're in a deep sleep, and your body temperature is low, and then from morning 6 to afternoon is a time where your concentration and your focus, your attention is higher. Testosterone is released. So if you want to learn something new, that is the best time. People usually say that, but knowing the circadian rhythm, it is scientifically true. Your brain is fresh and it is the best time to learn new skills. Then from noon to 6 p.m. is a time where you can coordinate things better. Your BP is slightly higher and the strength level is also high. जैसे आपको अगर कुछ कोऑर्डिनेट करना है, या फिर इफ़ यू आर अ पर्सन वांट्स टू वर्क ऑन द स्ट्रेंथ, यू आर एन एथलीट, यू वांट टू बिल्ड योर स्ट्रेंथ, सो यू शुड डू स्किल वर्क इन द मॉर्निंग एंड यू शुड डू स्ट्रेंथनिंग इन द आफ्टरनून, इज व्हाट would match your circadian rhythm. And then comes the time from 6 p.m. to night. 6 p.m. post sunset, what happens is the level of melatonin goes on increasing, so your body is very gradually relaxing, preparing you to sleep. So apart from this, what I also want to put an important point for students who are preparing for an exam, or for parents who have children who they are preparing for exams. You guys need to understand that when you pull an all-nighter, it's not a badge of honor. If you study throughout the day and sleep well, you will be able to retain more information. But if you're pulling an all-nighter, what you're doing is you're actually reducing the level of your intelligence, because you'll be able to retain only the amount of information that you read in the daytime. In fact, lesser, because you've not slept well, तो वो retain ही नहीं होगा, right? So sleep well before your exam, for your preparation for your exam, and that will help. Okay, so in this next section, I'm going to speak about sleep and obesity. Now, for people who want to control their weight, or Weight Watchers, sleep is a tool which can help you reduce weight. Now, when you don't sleep well, what happens is the cells have a little less resistance to insulin, and eventually that leads to weight gain. Okay, now how does it work? Does this work is basically insulin is something which will help in getting your glucose to the right place, right? So diabetes में क्या होता है, when you have a type 2 diabetes, I'm not talking about type 1, type 2 diabetes, the cells in the liver and muscles do not respond to insulin, and eventually those cells tend to deposit in various parts of the body, and that leads to weight gain. So to fact check this point, I have actually read two researchers. So one of the research says that few participants were not allowed to sleep for 4.5 hours for 4 consecutive days, and eventually when their cells were tested, they behaved like a full-blown diabetes cells. And second study which showed that few participants were allowed only partial sleep for one day, okay, one night, actually one night, and when their cells were tested next day, they responded less to insulin, so insulin resistance जो है वो बढ़ गया. So what do we understand out of this is, for people who are watching their weight, if you want to reduce weight, you need to sleep well so your cells behave normally to insulin and the glucose is processed well. Okay. Also, the second study said that just after one night, the liver started dumping more glucose in the blood. तो क्या हो जाता है, ग्लूकोज एब्जॉर्प्शन का कंपटीशन हो जाता है विद इंसुलिन. दैट ऑल्सो लीड्स टू इंसुलिन रेजिस्टेंस. सो यू अंडरस्टैंड, वन नाइट ऑफ डिस्टर्ब स्लीप, वन नाइट ऑफ whatever, being awake for XYZ reason, and next day if you are having cravings to have something sweet, salty, then you should understand that your cells are behaving a little diabetic, right? And this is all backed by research. I am not making up these facts, right? Now next topic which I want to talk about is sleep and mental health. Mental health, usually earlier it was projected that people who were depressed or who had anxiety or had ADHD or bipolar tend to sleep a little less, so they were given medicines to sleep well, alright? But it is actually the reverse. People who don't sleep well tend to develop more anxiety, more depression and more ADHD, and obviously they will be still prescribed sleep medicine, but when you sleep well, all these symptoms tend to go down. Okay, now to understand this, you need to understand how waste is cleared in your body. Now to clear all the waste, our body usually has a system called as lymphatic system, जो ओवरऑल आपकी बॉडी में वेस्ट होता है उसको क्लीन करता है, एंड इट गेट्स टू योर हार्ट एंड देन द होल ब्लड इज प्रोसेस्ड, राइट? सो सिमिलरली देयर इज अ सिस्टम इन योर ब्रेन एज वेल, बट द ब्रेन इज रियली जैम पैक्ड विद न्यूरॉन्स. ओके, सो वो वेस्ट को मूव अराउंड करने का टाइम नहीं होता है व्हेन यू आर अवेक. नाउ व्हाट हैपेंस व्हेन यू स्लीप? जब आप सो जाते हैं, जो ब्रेन के न्यूरॉन्स है वो 60% उनकी साइज कम हो जाती है, दे टेंड टू रिड्यूस, and they make space for the small lymphatic channels to clear out all the waste which is eventually emptied. So basically आपकी ब्रेन की गंद जो है वो रात को नींद में साफ होती है. तो प्लीज़, दिस इज़ another reason for you to sleep well, right? Then sleep. Okay, now in this section I'll be speaking about how sleep affects your food choices. Okay, if you sleep better, you tend to choose for more healthier food, and if you don't, you're disturbed subconsciously, you tend to go for food which is unhealthy. Okay, and this has a scientific backing. There are two hormones, leptin and ghrelin. Basically ये आपकी satiety hormones है. They tend to control how, when you feel full. तो when you don't sleep well, आपकी sleep disturb होगी, the level of one of these hormones goes up and you tend to go for unhealthy foods. So sleep well to eat well. Now I have a tip for athletes who are planning to build muscle. If you have a small protein snack just before you go to sleep, it will help in muscle building, and that too 22% more. So think about it. Next is you can sleep better and you will be able to exercise well. My topic. So sleep and exercise are synchronous. दोनों को एक दूसरे की ज़रूरत है. If you exercise well, you will be able to sleep well, and if you sleep well, you will be able to exercise better. So what happens basically when we are sleeping, there is something called as a human growth hormone. वो release होता है. It tends to break down fat and it helps in increasing muscle mass automatically, and you will be able to exercise well. So I have a tip for all you guys, people who don't exercise. I personally prefer to do yoga just before sleep, like, and I have favorite stretches, जैसे cat camel pose होता है, prayer stretch होता है, downward dogs, or just a relaxing savasana. So if you do these poses just before you go to sleep, and especially for women, housewives, if you've been standing for a long time, आप अगर वो पोज करेंगे जिसमें दोनों पैर आपको ऊपर रखना है, so these help in promoting better sleep, relaxation in your body, and you will be able to exercise better the next day. Now sleep sound to be creative. If you are a person who is in a creative line and you're not able to think of new ideas, trust me, when you sleep, what happens is, in the REM section of your sleep, okay, I'm giving you the scientific reason, the REM section, not the NREM, the end of your 90-minute sleep cycle, your neurons tend to make new associations, okay. So like say if you are thinking of a new idea, आपको एक चीज़ की नई आइडिया करनी है, सो व्हेन यू आर स्लीपिंग योर न्यूरॉन्स विल मेक एसोसिएशन, अच्छा हाँ इसकी वजह से ये हुआ, इसकी वजह से हुआ, मे बी ये करके मैं इसको ऐसे नई तरीके से प्रेजेंट कर सकते हो. सो इफ़ यू आर अ क्रिएटिव पर्सन, मेक श्योर यू गेट अ गुड नाइट स्लीप एंड गेट अप नेक्स्ट डे एंड यू माइट हैव अ गुड आइडिया, समथिंग न्यू टू डू. Want to solve a problem, then definitely you should get that REM section of your sleep. So what happens when you have disturbed sleep? I've been talking about sleep well, but life is so unpredictable. Something can disturb you and it can really affect your sleep. So what should you do? Say for instance, you have too much on your mind, a big project coming up next day, and you're not able to sleep. You get up 3 a.m. in the morning. Keep a book aside. Write down things you want to do. Trust yourself. I'm going to do this tomorrow morning. Calm yourself and go back to sleep. If you are a person who has exercised a lot, you feel painful, get up in the night, do your stretches and go back to sleep. If you're feeling stressed, you get up in the night, you're not able to sleep, you're thinking too much, listen to calm, relaxing music and go back to sleep. So another thing what scientifically said is, say for instance you had a disturbed sleep and you've not done much about it, like you couldn't sleep the whole night, then don't try to be creative. What else you can do is you can plan things. They say that planning and doing things which are rule based are not affected when you have disturbed sleep, so it's okay, go for those things. So in this section I'll be talking about sleep sound to have a better work performance. So it's the right time to tell you that you can use sleep as a weapon. Crazy, right? But you can. Now to make you understand the power of sleep, I'm going to talk about the positive effects of sleep. Now in the NREM section of the sleep, what happens is your memories are encoded and we tend to learn, like whatever you learn is sort of recorded. And the NREM section of the sleep, whatever procedural memories are there are sort of sent to the subconscious mind. So whatever goes in the subconscious stays there for like a long time. So when such kind of a procedure happens, you are able to make association with older memories, and eventually when your neurons make such associations, you can tend to come up for a solution for a problem. So for people who want to solve a problem at work, or want to come up with new ideas, or want to work on a certain project, the REM section of the sleep is what you should concentrate on, right? So finally coming to the section with 7 tips for your improvement of sleep are here. So my tip number 1 is to avoid caffeine rich drinks. So if you keep caffeine for the morning, like if you are a coffee drinker or a tea drinker, that's fine. But to have the same caffeine after 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. is not good for your sleep. Okay, now caffeine stays in your body for around 6 hours and maybe more than 6 hours. So you want to give a 8-hour gap before your sleep. Like say if you're a person who is going to go to sleep at around 10:30, 11, then you want to finish your coffee by 3 p.m. or tea by 3 p.m. Now the ideally allowed or a normal intake would be 200 milligrams. That would be 2 cups of coffee or 4 cups of tea, 8 cups of green tea. But if you're having more than that, then it will indirectly affect your sleep. It won't let the body calm down. Secondly, I feel that caffeine is not just in coffee, it's also there in weight loss powders, chocolates, and what else, some sodas. So having these things again at the end of the day when you're about to take your night's sleep will also further affect your sleep indirectly. So you want to stay away from that. So my tip number 2 is to defend your last hour. Now when I say defend your last hour is, say you have a very hectic day at work and you have too many things to do and you're stressing about the next day I might have to do this. So you're bringing your work home and eventually when you go to sleep you might have a disturbed sleep. So don't do that. Calm down before you go to sleep. Distract yourself. Read a book if possible. Not on the phone but an actual book that will help you relax. Another thing which you need to understand is when you are stressing about work, what happens is the hormone which I talked about earlier, cortisol, that is the activity hormone, is released. That causes increase in your blood pressure and it also causes release of sugar from your from the liver. So overall it's not good medically for your health. Now see, cortisol is good when you want to get things done. Early in the morning you have 15 tasks to do. It's an activity hormone. You'll be running around and things are great. But when you want to sleep, you don't want to run in your sleep, right? You want melatonin to set in. So you want to relax, you want to calm down. Or any series till late night, just 2 minutes before you go to sleep. Ideally, if you keep yourself free from screens for at least an hour before your sleep, it's really good and it will help you sleep better. My tip number 3 is keep your sleep cave dark. So like I told that melatonin is the hormone you want to flow in your body in the night to sleep sound. It's very sensitive to light. Okay, so if you have lights on and you're trying to sleep, you might sleep but the sleep won't be that sound. So try to switch off your lights and you might need to cut out the late night social media scrolling, empty scrolling basically, and the series, and pick up a good book. Another thing is try to put your curtains, make your cave, the cave where we sleep, dark, because our body loves routine. Whenever you enter that cave and it's dark, your body will automatically recognize the place and the melatonin will start flowing. Try this routine. Try to stay away from screens, take a hot shower, make your cave dark, and read if possible, and then go to sleep. Sometimes stretching and doing some yoga also helps. So call me crazy, one more point, if you have to get up in the night to pee, don't switch on the light. It will keep your melatonin flowing and you'll go back to sleep fast. Alright. My tip number 4 is to be cool. Now melatonin is a very sensitive hormone, but when the level increases, melatonin level, it tends to dilate our blood vessels and it helps in cooling our body by 0.3 to 0.4 degrees Celsius. So this will help in getting you drowsy and setting yourself in the mood of sleep. So what I recommend is take a hot shower and at the end pour some cold water to cool down your body temperature. Set your room at an optimum temperature. If most possible, they say 19 degrees is a good temperature for a hot place like Mumbai. But then whatever location you are, whether you need to increase or decrease the temperature, set it at a comfortable temperature for you and your partner and choose the right comforter so that You can maintain your body temperature a little cooler to feel drowsy. Um, my tip number 5 is try to sleep for 7 to 8 hours each night. Now, there has been researchers for people who sleep less than 7 to 8 hours tend to develop all kinds of lifestyle diseases and are more prone to injuries. Okay, so when you sleep for 7 to 8 hours per night, your body is completely repaired, it is completely recovered, and it is ready with problem solving skills. Now, you have to understand that one cycle of a sleep goes on for 90 minutes. So in total you need around 5 cycles, which comes down to around 7 to 8 hours. Okay, now has it happened with you that you had disturbed sleep once throughout the night and you went for a run next day and you were not able to run up to your capacity? Well, now you know the reason is disturbed sleep, right? Now what you can do is, if you want to prevent disturbed sleep, you can try listening to relaxation talks or relaxing music before you go to sleep. That will set the tone right. My tip number 6 is nap guilt free. Okay, now afternoon naps have been criticized too much. Let me tell you, there are people like Leonardo da Vinci, British PM, Margaret Thatcher, Bill Clinton, all these people who are used to having several afternoon naps, and they did not take them down, they just increased their productivity. Scientifically, how this helps is, if you want to learn something new, so what happens is your short-term memory is stored in one part of the brain. When you take a small nap, that all information is sent to one prefrontal cortex of your brain, where the memory is stored for permanent. Okay, so when it's in your short-term memory, it's temporary, but जब वो prefrontal cortex में जाता है तो वो permanent हो जाता है. So when you take a short nap after learning something new, you never know, you might learn it for permanent, right? So it's okay to take a nap in the afternoon, but you need to understand that how long are you going to nap. Okay, if you're taking a micro nap, like for 2 to 5 minutes, then what happens is this reduces your sleepiness and improves your cognitive performance. Say if you're taking a nap which is slightly longer, 10 minutes, so it will improve your mental and physical performance and reduce your fatigue. If you're taking a 20-minute or 15 to 20-minute power nap, I personally prefer a 15 to 20-minute power nap, and it really improves your alertness, energy, and it also improves your memory. But if you're going to nap for more than 20 minutes, 30 minutes, then you'll drop into the NREM stage of stage 2, stage 1 or 2. Then when you get up, you'll be drowsy and groggy. So what I would recommend is, if you're going to take a small nap, make sure it's not more than 20 minutes. Right? Now, also this nap will help in recovering your muscle strength. So I think it's a really good practice for athletes who want to improve their performance. And my last tip is to wake up naturally. When I say wake up naturally is to wake up when you feel that it's a good time to get out of the bed. Usually it's in the REM section of your sleep, when you are able to remember your dreams, and it is almost the end of your sleep. Say if you get up like that naturally, and it's before your normal time, like if you're a person who gets up at 7 and आपकी आँख 6 बजे खुल गई, don't go ahead and sleep more, just get out of the bed, because if you sleep again, आप वापस stage 1 या stage 2 of deep sleep में चले जाएंगे. So then when you get up, when your alarm goes off, you'll be groggy. So try to wake up naturally whenever your wakefulness starts. So these were my fundas about sleep. I hope you liked it. Try to make small changes if you're a person with disturbed sleep, and it takes time, but if you understand this, you will be able to make your health a little better. And I hope you have listened this to the end. Bye bye, take care.